Hello viewers, as we know that the government is planning to introduce NEP 2020, that is a new education policy, and there are a lot of discussions going on about it. So today I will be discussing you about the fourth domain of NEP 2020, which is curriculum and pedagogy in school. So first let us discuss about the design of NEP 2020. It has four stages. First is the foundation stage, which has children ranges from 3 years to 8 years, that is 5 years duration. If I come on to preparatory stage, children from classes 3rd to 5 or between ages 8 years to 11 years will fall under this category. And then I come on to middle stage, so children aged 11 to 14 years and the learners of classes 6 to 8 will come under this. And the secondary stage will be from age 14 to 18 years and students of classes 9 to 12 will come under this category. And NEP emphasizes on many things. Earlier we were having rote memorization, question paper, assessment, was very definite, but this time new education policy focuses on the holistic development of learners rather than only at one point. It really helps the learner to develop emotionally, intellectually, mentally and socially, and it really equips the learner with the 21st century skills like analytical thinking, decision making thinking, observation skills, etc. And it really gets real understanding. The learner really gets a real understanding, and the character building should be there, and obviously the cognitive development has to be there, and all these things should be there in NEP. This will be made sure by NCERT when they will prepare the national curriculum framework. Now if I come upon to the experiential learning, it is a major part of NEP 2020 that they want that there should be experiential learning approach of the teachers while teaching a concept. In this, all the subjects have to be integrated with each other: sports, arts, storytelling and hands-on learning, and it has to be dealt in a way that the children do hands-on activity. They will observe something and they will analyze it and take out the result, whereas teacher will only be the mentor or guide rather than doing something herself. The children will be doing and she will only be facilitating them. And why does the government want art to be integrated in the curriculum? Because obviously when the children do art, they really get themselves acquainted with the Indian culture, Indian ethos. That obviously increases their creativity and all, but it strengthens the link between education and culture as well. And then why sports integration? Another question in NEP 2020 is why are we integrating sports into it? And we know the answer. Sports not only changes our psychological and physical well-being, it's good for physical and psychological well-being, but also it develops certain skills like collaboration, self-initiative, leadership, teamwork, responsibility, etc. So as per NEP 2020, now there will be no hard separation. Up till now there was separation that this is curricular activities, these are extracurricular or co-scholastic activities, but as per NEP 2020 there is no separation between curricular, extracurricular, co-curricular, arts, humanities, sciences, vocational or academic streams. The child can choose what he or she wants to do further. And then students will be given a chance that they have option to choose the physical education, art and craft, vocational education. They can choose any of these subjects so that the learners can design their own path of study and life plans. Then let's come on to the exam status. We want that children should be exposed to more and more subjects, and therefore there should not be the semester system which we are adapting right now. They wanted that they should have some shorter modules that are taught on alternate days or some shorter time of the children will be evaluated as a continuous process rather than after 6 months or something. Then another important part is multilingualism in NEP 2020, and as per NEP 2020 there should be the use of mother tongue emphasis whenever we teach the child or the learner through the mother tongue, through his or her mother tongue, obviously the difficult concepts also become easier for the learner to understand. Therefore, keeping this in mind, the government or the ministry has decided, the education ministry has decided that from as per NEP 2020, whenever it will be implemented, the teaching will be done through mother tongue only, and obviously we have to teach all the subjects in the mother tongue till class 5. If it is possible till 8th, then you can teach up till 8, but till 5 it is mandatory to teach in mother tongue. But then the next question comes that yes, from where will those teachers come who will really teach in that language? I'll give you that answer later on. Let's talk about mother tongue as a tool. After grade 5, that home language, whatever mother tongue they are studying all subjects in, that will be becoming their subject after class 5, and every textbook will also be written in the mother tongue. NCERT will make sure the textbooks will be available in all the languages, all the regional languages, so that it can be used region wise, and public and private schools, everybody has to follow the same thing. And then there will be also a project which will be the fun project, which is called Language of India, in which all the languages will be compared, and what all points will be compared, like what are the phonetics, what is the common grammatical structure all the languages have, from where did they originated, and what are the scientifically arranged alphabets in them. And now I have come to the question that raised in your mind, that from where will the teachers come if we will adopt multilingualism, multilingual teaching. So the question is, answer to your question is that the regional language teachers have to be employed by central and state government, and there will be bilateral agreement to hire interstate teachers, and this will bridge the gap between home language and medium of instruction, and the teacher has to use bilingual approach. Then there is another concept in NEP 2020, that is the 3 language formula. We have to make sure that all the students have to learn 3 languages in the school, and why it is done so that the children can be exposed to different languages, and 3 languages can be the choice of the state or the region, or the student himself can choose which 3 languages he or she wants to study. And then at least 2 should be the native Indian languages, and 1 Indian language will be there at the end of the secondary school also. And language studied, if you want to change the language that you're studying, it can be changed in 6th or 7th, but only and only once you show your proficiency in that language. Going on further, Sanskrit is given a very important place in NEP 2020. There will be option of Sanskrit which will be offered at all levels of school and higher education as well. And everything, the books will be written in simple standard Sanskrit for foundation and middle level. And right now, as our teachers in schools, whatever they're teaching is because they're teaching Sanskrit, which is not the medium of instruction for students. Therefore, we are teaching in Hindi and then translating it into Sanskrit, and we are telling them to, okay, this is a Sanskrit thing, change it into Hindi, or Hindi into Sanskrit. But now, as for NEP 2020, the Sanskrit thing has to be taught through Sanskrit only, rather than taking the help of Hindi. And there's some other important points as well, that the option for classical language and literature will be there for at least 2 years, and the foreign language will be offered at the secondary stage, and experiential learning pedagogy will be adopted, in which all the subjects will be correlated to each other with experiential methods. Now, there will be important parts of curriculum, that is proficiency in language, development of skills, mathematics, and one important subject that is coming onto it is knowledge of India. There are certain skills that the child needs to develop as per NEP 2020, and those are sense of aesthetics, communication skill, collaboration and teamwork, logical reasoning, conservation of resources, and fundamental duties. Mathematics is also given an important place in this policy, as maths will be given from importance on the foundational stage itself, and there will be regular use of puzzles and games in the preparatory stage itself, and coding will be introduced in the middle stage, right? The coding, the advertisements we are seeing nowadays in the commercials we are seeing in the TVs and network, all the internet, that free demo classes for coding and all that stuff, make your child learn coding, that's a future. And yes, NEP has adapted that, and coding will be mandatory in the middle stage of the children's life, of the learner's schooling. There are other various courses which will be implemented, new courses, which are traditional crop cultivation, excerpts from Indian Constitution, forest management, knowledge of India, I told you earlier, courses in tribal ethno-medicinal practices, and Indian knowledge system. And at the middle stage, there is one more thing which has been introduced, that would be internship. That means every person who will be every child who is 6 to 8 class will have to have a 10-day bagless internship period, in which he can choose in which skilled job he want to do internship with. He can be like carpentry, gardening, pottery making. They have to go to the experts of those fields. They have to stay there for 10 minutes. They will see 10 days, sorry. They have to see what they are doing, how they are doing, and then they also have to try that. So this will be a internship period which they have to take at the middle stage. Now NCFSC, which is National Curriculum Framework for School Education, this framework will be designed after the discussion with all the stakeholders and expert bodies that are available in the regional languages, and this NCFSC will be updated every 5 to 10 years. And what is the aim of this NCFSC is to provide high quality textbooks at the lowest rate possible. And the states have, obviously there will be some chapters which will be mandatory and which will be uniform in all the regions, but there will be some supplementary chapters which can be added by the states as per their flavor, as per their requirements. And textbooks in all the regional languages will be the top priority as per NCFSC, so that all the students have access to high quality learning. Then comes on to the assessment. The assessment will be more regular and formative rather than summative, I told you earlier, and it will promote learning and development. The competency-based skills, competency-based learning would be there rather than stressing on rote memorization, and this all will be done so that higher order skills can be tested and improved in the learner, and this will also make them make the skills more developed, and then the skills like analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. Now, how would the progress report look like? The progress report would be a holistic report. This will not be a report card which will only show the academics marks. It will be a link between home and school. Okay, it will test cognitive, affective, psychomotor domains, self and peer assessment, progress and project, inquiry-based learning, quizzes, role play, group work, portfolio. All this will be the part of the report card, of the progress report as per NEP 2020. And then there's also one proposal in NEP 2020 to set a standard setting body, that is PARAK, National Assessment Center. PARAK means Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. This should be developed, this standard setting body should be developed, which will set norms, standards and guidelines for the students' assessment and evaluation for all recognized school boards, guiding the State Achievement Survey and undertaking the National Achievement Survey. This will encourage the help school boards to maintain a uniform standard rather than going haywire. Then there will be another thing, how to assess. The next question is how should we assess the children, and then the board exams of class 10th and 12th may over the time develop models like annual, semester, modular, and pressure will be distributed rather than on one paper only. It will be distributed in the semester or some other system, so that children should not feel pressurized at the end of the day, and the students will be allowed to appear in the exam in 1 or 2 occasions one main exam maybe and 4 improvement exam also if the marks are not good or if they're not satisfied with their performance. Board exam will be remade and it would be made easier now, because now it will not check your rote memorization skill, but now it will check the competency of the learner rather than rote memorization. And it would test achievement of the basic learning outcome, the assessment of core concepts and the local curriculum that has been delivered to you. And all the students will take school examination in grades 3, 5 and 8, and it will be conducted by appropriate authority. Last but not the least, there's one important point, that is support for gifted children. Yes, there's a challenge, I know, in the classroom. There's a challenge of the gifted children. They can perform the work early and then they may disturb the rest of the children. So for them, the government has said, the policymakers have suggested that the clubs have to be formed and the talents have to be nurtured in every student, developed in every student through that clubs, and teacher will aim to encourage those students by providing them supplementary enrichment material and guidance. Obviously, residential summer programs, where they will stay and do extra work for the students, for gifted students, that can also be organized. And you can also take help of those learners by telling them to make to help you in making a online material like a PPT or like a video or something. Through that, their energy will be channelized, their knowledge will also be tested, and it will solve your purpose, it will solve your problem. So this all should be the support for the gifted children. So that's all for curriculum and pedagogy. I hope it has added to your understanding of NEP 2020. Thank you and have a nice day.